Oklahoma City Thunder select Chet Holmgren from Gonzaga University.
What a pass. Giddy underneath for JRE. The reverse and the rookie-to-rookie action. SGA defended closely by Westbrook. Tough. Step back. Gets up the shot. Banks it in for the lead.
This is Udart. You're listening to the Uncontested.
What is up, and welcome to the Uncontested podcast, coming to you live Sunday, February 26th, after the Thunder lose to the Sacramento Kings 124-115. I'm your host for the evening, Jacob Niffen. Got my guy, JD Silva, with me.
Fellas.
We've got Nick Crane.
How on earth is February almost over?
It went by pretty quick, man. We've also got Taylor Peterson here.
I survived the nadir of February 2023.
Gentlemen, well, before we dive in, we are brought to you by the Blue Wire Podcast Network and dailythunder.com. Make sure to go follow us on all social media channels. Also, go sub to the YouTube channel. That would be awesome. Subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcast from. Drop a 5-star rating. That would mean the world to us. The Thunder drop their third game in a row coming out of the break. 3 games, 3 losses, all 3 very close in the fourth quarter. Thunder just unable to close out, get over the hump at the end. The last 2 obviously being without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Let's talk about this Kings game a little bit, though. As I just mentioned, the Thunder lose 124-115 to the Sacramento Kings. Taylor, player of the game.
Pretty easy, in my opinion, yet again. It's got to be Isaiah Joe. That is now 2 straight games where he's surpassed, I shouldn't say surpassed a career high. Has surpassed his previous career high without Shai being on the floor. Basically has taken on that scoring role. If you would have told me that before Shai went out, I would have thought you were probably crazy, because I would have thought about Lou Dort or, gosh, maybe a J-Dub before I thought about Isaiah Joe. But here he is yet again. Tonight with 24 points, 6 of 11 for the floor, 4 of 8 from 3, 50%. That's even after a quote-unquote slow start. He really kind of started to heat up there in the second quarter and then into the second half. Kind of the opposite, actually, of the game against the Suns on Friday that Silva covered. Kind of ironic, but regardless, I think you have to say Isaiah Joe yet again for the second straight game.
Yeah, Joe was awesome. You mentioned 24 points on 11 shots. Like, that's absurd. Silva, I don't know about you. Like, I think Isaiah probably deserves player of the game. But Josh Giddy, 2 games out of the break, really struggled. Tonight, 18, 7, and 5 on 80% from the floor, 8 of 10, 1 of 1 from 3. Just, he saw that he was being inefficient, especially at the rim, and he came out and I thought played a really, really, really solid game tonight.
Yeah, I'm with you. If he's not player of the game, we can at least give him the honorary comeback player of the game. Those last 2 from him after the All-Star break were pretty rough. So I was happy to see him. Didn't take a ton of shots, but I'm okay with that because, like you said, it was hyper efficient, 8 of 10 from the field. Just making a lot of the stuff that he's been missing. The stuff where he's driving by, gets an open look, but just barely misses it. I don't know if that was just a long hangover after the All-Star break or what, but he looked much more like himself tonight off those drives.
Yeah, he definitely did. I thought he was much more aggressive getting to the basket, not floating shots up like you had mentioned in your post game on Friday, Silva, but instead like getting right to the rim and putting it on the glass, banking them in. Lou Dort's like stat sheet looks nice. 18 points, 7 of 17, 4 and 9 from 3, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. I don't know. Just I've watched Lou Dort since the All-Star break, and it's rough. Is rough the right word?
Rough's the right word.
He
does not do well when he is tasked to do more than usual. Like with SGA being out, that has not been good for him.
His decision making is on the offensive end. Leaves a lot to be desired. He's got he takes some pretty ill-advised shots. Tonight he was just missing like layup after layup. J-Dub missed like 2 layups. Kenrich Williams I think Taylor and I had the same thought at the exact same time. Fourth quarter was about 5 minutes to go, Taylor. Kenrich Williams gets the most wide open layup you could get in an NBA game.
Just completely whiffs.
Doesn't dunk it, just like hits the bottom of the damn rim, just smoked it. That would have cut it to 5. The Kings come back down. Trey Lyles, who had 16 points on the night, splashes a 3, goes from what should have been a 5-point game to a 10-point game. Like that. I thought that was the difference tonight.
Then immediately after that, I think there was another turnover by the Thunder, which led to another transition through from the Kings. But you guys bring up something with Lou that I think the word I don't know. I still struggle to find the exact term, but maybe glaring is one term that stands out to me when I'm looking at Lou. Like you said, Jacob, particularly since All-Star break, because Shea's been out, but also just in general this season. I mean, I tweeted this out from the account tonight, but you look at the field goal leaders with when Shea is out, and almost always Lou is leading the charge there. And that's not exactly what you want within the flow of this offense. He had 17 attempts. The second highest on this team was 12, which was J-Dub. J-Dub was 7-12. Lou was 7-17. I think I would have rather see some of those shot attempts go to, for example, Isaiah Joe. We mentioned much more efficient. Him getting more of those shot attempts would be beneficial for this team, or even just J-Dub in general, like 15 points, 7-12 from the floor, only 1 of 2 from 3. More of those shot attempts going to J-Dub, I understand will lead to like less efficiency for him, but I think is more beneficial for this team. It's just really interesting to me. And I talked a lot about this last year in regards to Tre Mann. And I know we're going to get into the Tre Mann versus Isaiah Joe, et cetera, but the short, I hate this term. I can't come up with like another analogy. It's just like such a simple one, such a common one, but the short leash for Tre Mann last season compared to the long leash for Lou Dort. And we see it again this season. Right. And I get it. Like Lou Dort's somebody who's been here since day one. He's had playoff experience. He's a leader on and off the court for OKC. But like when you mentioned that, Jacob, like the word that keeps coming back to me with Lou is glaring. It just doesn't seem to fit the style of play that OKC is playing with. I think JD touched on this here with his post game against, the Suns on Friday. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's just I'm having some pretty. I feel very torn on Lou Dort, and I'm curious your guys' thoughts.
Yeah, I think we'll dive. Let's finish up the Kings game, and I think we'll dive really deep into some of those Lou Dort thoughts here shortly. Nick, I know you didn't get to watch much of the game tonight due to some prior engagements. Silva, big takeaway from this one. Anything jump off the page to you?
The biggest thing is just continuing to see guys like Jada be consistent. I like to see how the team kind of molds itself whenever SGA is out of the lineup. So just seeing the young guys continue to perform, like Isaiah, like the guys we talked about already, Giddy bounced back. Love to see that from him. Love to see that the confidence is still there. That's probably the biggest thing, just that Giddy is maintaining the confident mentality that we know he has. He wasn't discouraged by a few really inefficient performances. And J-Dub hasn't really wavered at all this year. I could probably count on one hand how many quote unquote bad games he's had. And tonight was not one of those.
Yeah, I think that's fair. They also went, one of my takeaways was Mark Daignault was willing to try whoever tonight. I mean, pretty much everyone who is available logged minutes except for Eugenio Marui. Wiggins gets 24. Tre Mann gets 14. Lindy Waters plays 17 minutes. Dario Saric 9. And the 17 Lindy Water minutes were good. 4 of 6 from the field, 3 of 5 from 3. He contributed 12 points. Is this right? He had 7 rebounds. Wow.
That seems kind of crazy, but yeah.
An assist and a steal.
Well, Mark played him in that super small lineup there in the third and maybe even the fourth quarter. Can't remember exactly how long that lineup stretched, but basically Kenrich Williams was a small ball 5. He played Dub, Giddy, Lindy, Joe, I believe, or maybe it was instead of Giddy, it was like Joe and Tre Mann and Kenrich at the small ball 5. So that could lead to some rebounds for Lindy Waters.
Yeah, it just felt to me another big takeaway tonight. And sorry, Taylor, you need to give a takeaway as well. But for me, one of the big ones was offensive rebounds. The Kings had 13 offensive rebounds. They out-rebounded the Thunder 48-37. 13-9 on offensive rebounds doesn't sound like a lot, but the Kings' rebounds felt like every offensive rebound resulted in a made shot. Every time a ball came off the rim that the Kings got, the Kings scored immediately after. And it felt back-breaking, you know? You string together a stop or two stops, but you can't consolidate with a rebound. And I thought, you know, that goes a little bit to everybody. But guys just crashing in like untouched. There was multiple ones where Harrison Barnes just crashed in from the three-point line and grabbed an offensive rebound. It's like, man, somebody has to put a body on an offensive player. You have to secure a defensive rebound. It just felt like in the most pivotal points of the game tonight, they were unable to do that. I just left everybody speechless.
That's why the game was always. I feel like they were always like 8 to 12 points away.
They got to 4 at the end of the third, but I don't think the Thunder ever led this entire game, all 48 minutes.
I think there's something to be said there about Shea. Like, obviously they miss his 30 points a night and his, you know, the gravity he demands by the defense and leaves other guys open, all that kind of stuff. But he's also the guy that can get you over that hump that you guys are referring to. Like, you get real close, and then like this series of tragic events or like offensive rebounds or turnovers, whatever it is, buries you back in that hole. I think that's like the maturity and like the stardom of SGA is what you're really missing there, not just like the raw statistics.
Definitely.
His trips to the free throw line always feel like they help break up that
100%.
pace.
Great point.
Which
For
Isaiah, we had a comment about it, but Isaiah Joe, 11 free throw attempts tonight.
It's wild.
Yeah.
So many free throws. That's got to be more than he's had the entire season combined.
Yeah. He's done some stuff off the dribble that have really surprised me.
Oh, that
Agreed.
step back.
Yeah.
My
And that
Lord.
pull-up.
Mhm.
Like, oh.
The Suns game, too, he was doing some
Yeah,
funky
defensively, he's held up really well.
How do you think Sixers fans feel?
Sick.
Like, do you think
Sad.
that they're like looking at this and saying like, oh, he's had these 20-point games, but it's when SGA's out and it's empty stats, or like, oh, this 3-point shooting is a flash in the pan. Do you think they're actually like, holy crap, we really dropped the ball here?
I just remember whenever we picked up Isaiah Joe, or even like, you know, a couple days before that, when the Sixers released Isaiah, a couple of the Thunder fans, because the Sixer fans that we follow on Twitter, I know collectively, seemed pretty upset. Like, this is a guy who has a lot of promise, but
Like Isaiah Roby?
Yeah, not quite the who's the other guy? I'm looking, Moses
Brown.
Not quite that. They seemed to really think highly of him, but he was just a casualty of, you know, of
Really good roster.
contending. And right, yeah, which I think, you know, we've talked a lot about this, but we'll have some players on this current roster. I think that'll be in a similar category, but I'm not sure if they're necessarily shocked. But even then, I don't know if they could have seen like this scoring outbreak, this efficiency from the 3-point line that Isaiah Joe's had this season.
Yeah, it's like the Sixers, the deadline, were like probably looking for an Isaiah Joe.
Mhm. He's been incredible. Like, he has been just absolutely freaking awesome. I've said it before on this podcast. I'll say it again. Like, and Nick, I know you've tweeted stuff about it. The offensive efficiency with this team when Isaiah is out there, especially around Shea, is massive. It's like staggering how good it is.
Supersedes the points themselves. Just like the space that he provides is bonkers.
You got to know that front office and Sam Presti are looking at all that data and like targeting shooters down the line. That's part of the reason we're not going to get into draft talk like tonight, or we're not. I mean, hell, the way the West is stacked up, we got to wait till literally the last game of the season to find out what spot the Thunder end up in, either in the play-in or the playoff or the lottery or whatever. But I don't know. Grady Dick just. He's like a 6'8" Isaiah Joe, basically.
A lot better, but yeah.
But you put that on this team, you had that kind of spacing. I mean,
yeah.
What do you do? You know?
I mean, we're not getting the draft stuff, but Dick's a guy that, like, we talk about the secondary score the Thunder need badly when Shea's out. Like, Grady could be the guy that could, maybe not as a rookie, but he's a guy that at some point could be your primary option when Shea's out.
Kevin Hurt is the comp that I gave here when Nick and I did a podcast here almost a month ago now. I agree.
I just want Grady Dick for all the dick jokes we can make.
I know you just wanted to
Dick
say his name on the
jokes, dick.
podcast. That's really it.
I tweeted about it, but we have enough memeable white guys on the team. I don't know if we need any more. We got
I agree. I know.
Silver wants Jet Howard instead. You get a lot of the same with him.
I might.
Like, I want to be tweeting the first game where Grady Dick gets a block so I can call it a cock block. So bad.
It's just
You guys,
just a bunch of weird white dudes on the team. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, we're not Utah, but Grady Dick would
know.
fit really well.
Yeah.
You're in a lineup of
just
Dick
based on
fits really
Chet-
well.
Chet.
Based on this conversation, I hope he does not get drafted to Oklahoma State.
That's
exactly what I
Will
mean.
never be good.
No.
It would be like Nick's All-Star. Hey, now you're an All-Star podcast, a post-game podcast he had to do.
Gosh, I know.
Hey, shout
Last
out
week.
to Nick.
That was
I got-
But it would just be
really
us
hard.
incorporating dick
That's
jokes
what.
into
Yeah,
every
that's what
single
she
post
said,
game.
Nick. The three of us on the show, excluding Nick right now, we have to make a pact that if they draft Grady Dick, we are buying Nick a jersey. But instead of the name on the back saying Dick, we're just gonna get it blank and put like a big drawing of a penis.
Okay.
8 equals.
We're gonna do it. It's got to happen.
Good.
Any more Kings thoughts? I feel like we should talk more about the Kings, but I don't know. I mean,
We'll get
Wait,
to
okay,
the
on
Kings
Tuesday.
The
game
Kings
on
themselves
Tuesday.
are a really good basketball. Okay, the fact that they played that game that they did, a historical game a couple of nights ago against the Clippers in double overtime, and then come out against a resilient Thunder team who, like, we mentioned this a little bit, but even without Shea, they went on some runs and they just weren't able to overcome ultimately with the Kings. And there's a lot to be said about that. It's impressive.
They're good.
They're a good team.
Yeah, they're good.
oh, Nick, is this some breaking news on the podcast?
Yep. Thunder emailed it out. Eugene
Wow.
has been waived.
Interesting.
Who?
The end of the
Eugene.
Eugene Omarui.
Breaking news.
Yeah. Well,
That lasted a
So
hot,
important.
couple of weeks.
Eugene.
Well, there's your roster spot for your first round pick this
Yeah.
summer.
Didn't they just
That's
convert his
super
contract?
weird.
Didn't they just convert his contract?
Yeah. Are
That
they going to
means
bring somebody
there's-
else up?
There's somebody that has been waived in the past week or so that they like.
Are they just gonna bring up
or
Olivier
maybe it's
Sarr?
Olivier Sarr, but there's got to be somebody that's been waived in the past week.
You
that
know
they
what
like.
it is?
What?
They watched Lindy Waters tonight and said,
No.
oh, shit, give this man the bag.
Who needs Grady Dick?
We got our own Grady Dick. It's Gritty Dick.
Oh my god. Well, hopefully Eugene got some money from that conversion. of his
Oh,
contract
I
and-
think in the span of time that Eugene has been on the actual roster, he got paid more money than he did his entire two-way
Well, good for him.
for the whole season. I think Nick is going into writing mode right now. We might have just lost Nick for the podcast.
He's the thinker.
No,
right
no,
now.
no. I'm looking at the transaction log to see like who
Oh,
has been
Oh,
like KZ Paula's been waived, but we already
that,
we already know
yeah.
they don't want him. They don't have
Yeah.
a chance to have him.
Been there, done that.
Trevor Keels is on a 10-day, but I don't think he's on a
10-day with the
weird.
Kings. He was drafted by the Kings. Or sorry, the
Knicks.
Kings,
the
the
Knicks. But he was on a 2-way with the Knicks, so why is he on a 10-day? I guess he just to play some NBA game. He can't have him. He's on a 2-way.
Yeah, I don't know.
who are some of the buyouts?
I feel like if you wanted the buyout guy, you had the chance before you did all this stuff.
Isn't-
Andre Robertson.
Oh my
He's
god!
bad.
Isn't
my
Will
God.
Barton still out there?
Yeah, but he's
Jeez.
like
Still floating?
His body's broken though. I don't know.
surely
if
not
he's-
like a Tony Bradley. Surely
No,
not.
we've been there, done that. Don't need to go back.
Hey, Moses Brown,
Oh god.
bring him back.
Oh god.
No, the no dunks full
my
circle
God.
would just piss me off. We
What
can't do
about
that.
what about maybe this guy's been mid-signed? Leandro Bolmaro.
Oh, that screams Sam Presti.
Kind of.
That's a fun name.
I don't know if he's
Is
been
he like a
Monday.
6'8" Spanish point guard?
Yeah, he's a
Oh,
first
hell
rounder in
yeah.
2020. He's 6'6", plays guard, Argentina. Is that from
Argentinian.
Argentina?
Jacob, is this Micic's time to shine?
Oh,
You
he's
beat me
going,
to it. You beat me
he's
to
going
that,
back to
Taylor.
Barcelona. He's going back to Barcelona. Just
Is
kidding.
Gabby Deck available?
There's
Is-
really nobody in the past week that I'm
I
like
know.
looking here.
That's interesting.
Frank Jackson.
Jamius Ramsey, we bringing him up finally. Texas Tech
wish.
legend.
I wish.
I know. I love him.
I don't know, guys. I'm at a loss.
Wow. What a
That's
moment on
weird.
the pod.
Very weird.
What a
Very
moment.
weird timing.
The best breaking news we could have had on the podcast. Hey, Eugene Omarui signing.
Waving.
Waving. Signing and waving.
The
Felt like it all
opposite.
happened in the past
That's
10
And now
minutes.
we wave goodbye.
But then Eugene waved back.
Fuck you. Oh, man. All right, gentlemen, let's move on. We've kind of talked about this Kings game. We'll do it again in 2 days. Who's got the post game on Tuesday, by the way?
This guy.
Oh, you guys got Taylor on Tuesday. As
Sorry.
The Thunder and
Oh,
Kings play
man.
for a third time.
They did our guy Rumble so bad.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh my
The Kings.
God.
Shout out to the Kings.
It's
So
like a
we've
Pokemon.
kind of talked about some players here. I wanted to have a debate on this show tonight. The next 3 seasons, OKC, as early as this summer, has $30 million in cap space. They have 8 first-round picks in the next 3 seasons, numerous second-round picks. I didn't even want to count those. We will inevitably have more roster churn. The 15 guys on this roster right now, I don't know if you guys agree with this or not. I would say a good over-under on how many will still be on this team in 3 years is like 7.5. Right at half the roster. Like, I think that's a pretty good number for 3 years from now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think 3 years from now, you say for sure Shea, Dub, Giddy, and Chet. Everyone else is
Yeah.
kind of up in the air, right?
Yep.
Definitely feels that way. So I wanted to pit a couple of Thunder players together, a couple of guys that I think fans compare the two of them together a lot. And I want us to debate and decide which one do we think will be around 3 years from now, if you have to take one of the two. So I'm going to give you guys a pairing of players, and then whoever wants to start the dialogue, and let's just debate pros and cons of those guys, what we think their ceilings are, their floors, future contract, et cetera, et cetera. Are they a trade candidate? And where we end up on, I think I have 4 groupings. I do have 4 groupings of players. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Ready.
First one, Tre Mann versus Isaiah Joe.
Who's going first? Me?
I mean, yeah, go for it.
Okay. I've been a little sad about Tre Mann, if I'm being honest. I think it's pretty clear that he has talent. He has I guess you could say he has an elite NBA skill in space creation and shot creation. The problem is he does not have that same skill in shot making. He just creates the shot. And I think he needs to be on a roster where he can spread his wings, take a bunch of shots, and kind of feel his own confidence out on an NBA floor and not just in the G League.
Shouldn't that be this team though, theoretically?
You would think, but then the problem is Isaiah Joe comes out of nowhere and is immediately awesome and hyper efficient. So I feel like that's why he's getting more minutes over Tre Mann. I mean, previously, maybe you could, if J-Dub had not been on the roster, maybe then Tre could get more minutes. Even they don't play the exact same position, but it's tough. I think it's pretty clear he's fallen out of the rotation a bit, and I thought he would start getting more minutes after he had a stretch of good games after he got sent to the G League the first time. And I thought after that maybe he'd start getting more on a regular basis. It just hasn't ever really happened. I still see some positive flashes. That Phoenix game, he came in and had a nice little 4-minute run, but it's tough. What do you guys think?
Jacob, is the question is there a timeline on this roster?
3 years.
3 years.
Trey has 2 more years after this one on his contract. Isaiah Joe also has 2 more years on his contract. Isaiah Joe is over a year and a half older than Tre Mann.
I was going to ask
If that,
about
if that means anything to you guys, he's more than a year and a half older. They'd both be due a new contract. So I guess it's just like, how do you see them developing down the line? Like, is this peak Isaiah Joe?
Right. And I think too, if it's not peak Isaiah Joe, or if, I mean, frankly, if he maintains what he's doing today forever, like you can't really ask for more. I wonder though, we see it time and time again, and it scares the crap out of me, where guys go nuclear for a season or two from three. Think your Duncan Robinsons, your Joe Harris's, you give them this big bag, and then they're like the quote unquote worst contract in the league 2 years later. I'm not saying Isaiah Joe is going to be that, or Isaiah Joe is going to get a bag, but like these.
Who's the white guy in Dallas that fits that as well?
Davis Bertans.
There you go.
It's scary, and like the way he's shooting now, can that actually be sustainable?
I don't think so.
No. Like could he be 39%, 41%? Yeah. Could he be what he is today? Probably not. But if he just keeps going nuclear and demands a big bag, like to the Thunder at that point in time, which should be like kind of post rebuild, kind of moving into this new era of contending, will they pay up? And if they do, like, how much are they comfortable paying up? Is he going to want more than they're willing to give up? Like, I don't know. I think Tre on that more controllable rookie scale deal feels a bit easier to have 3 years from now, but he may not develop. I don't know. It's hard. It's a hard question.
The argument of ceiling for these guys, I think, is really fascinating. Like, theoretically, Tre's ceiling is very high, right? I mean, Nick mentioned it to us in our private chat the other day. We were talking like Jordan Poole comparisons. We were talking like Anthony Simons comparisons. You know, is that ceiling attainable? I don't know. Like, it could be, it could not be. It's hard to see a higher ceiling for Isaiah than what we are seeing right now, like tonight, right? This guy that shoots 50% from 3-point line in multiple games, scoring in the 20s, is playing good defense, is doing a little bit of stuff off the bounce. I mean, if he would have finished that layup against the Jazz that won the game, I mean, we're talking like we are crazy high on this guy right now, right?
True.
So there's this interesting argument of their ceilings in comparison to one another. I think you also have to debate a little bit the trade value, right? I mean, Isaiah Joe might not be on this team in 3 years because maybe this summer he's in a package that gets you from pick 10 or 11 up to pick 5.
Right.
Because that's a really good sweetener, because somebody else can have him on a contract for 2 years at like really cheap NBA money, and he's super productive for what he is.
Can I ask you something on that along those lines? You kind of framed up maybe a package to move up, but let's say like a 1-for-1 Isaiah Joe for a first round pick. What is the worst pick that you're willing to give Isaiah Joe up for straight up in this upcoming draft on draft night? Like Isaiah Joe for pick X is the worst that you would take for him.
I mean, I think Thunder fans right now would be like, oh, it has to be like top 12 protected. But you look back on.
No, but it wouldn't be protected. We're talking like the night of the draft. So you know exactly what pick it's going to be.
Oh,
what is the pick?
Ooh, that's pretty tough.
The difference in what I think I would want and what fans would want and what Presti would want, honestly.
I'm asking what you want. We're the podcasters here. People want to know what
I don't
your
know, though.
opinion
That's
is,
tough.
Jacob.
Like, I don't think I would do anything that involves just Isaiah Joe for a pick. Like,
for pick 9, you wouldn't do Isaiah Joe.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
the question.
That's
What's
too
the
long.
worst pick that you would
That's
do
pretty
for
easy.
Isaiah
I was
Joe?
thinking like 16.
That's what I was thinking.
Taylor, tell me that's what you were thinking too.
Say it, Taylor.
Lottery.
Oh,
Lottery or bust.
There's
Wow.
no way anybody would.
We
do
don't
that.
need Nick Smith Jr. We have Nick Smith Jr. at home. And he's more
Woo
experienced.
pig, woo pig.
Yeah, you know, like if
Keontae George.
someone said like, "Hey, give us Isaiah Joe because he's what we think Grady Dick will turn into." I mean, shit, give me Grady Dick every day.
100%.
Give me Dick every day, baby.
This is why we
We
cannot.
can't draft this guy.
No.
I just got clipped, I think.
But please,
I don't see any team in the league doing that, you know?
I could see someone offering like I could see someone
The
at pick
Dubs?
27. Yeah, like, but I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
So taking this back full circle, you mentioned Tre Mann versus Isaiah Joe. We're talking a lot.
Who's on
about
the team
Isaiah
3
Joe
years from
in
now?
general, right? But my thoughts, and I kind of mentioned this in a post game here a month or two back, and like it kind of makes people upset when I call Tre Mann a potential casualty of this rebuild. And what I mean by that is not that he's out of the NBA, he's playing overseas, he's the next Alex Abrines. It's, he could be an Isaiah Joe for another team. He could go elsewhere and thrive and play great. But because of the roster crunch that this team finds themselves with, as well as just the fit in general, I think that's what this really comes down to. I mean, we can go into stats. I've taken a couple of screenshots here, but we've gone long enough. I don't even think we need to. Isaiah Joe just fits better at this point in time in his career with the Thunder, with Shea, with Giddy, with Dub, some of these more primary ball handler creators compared to Tre Mann, who's really kind of struggled with the catch and shoot, with spacing the floor outside of just his elite shot creation that he has for himself. So I just wonder, like, could Tre Mann be the Isaiah Joe for another team? Or is Tre Mann that piece that you combine picks with to trade up in a draft, for example?
It's a good point. So we got to make a decision. Who stays, who goes?
Oh man,
We've kind of laid out all the points.
I think
for both
Isaiah Joe
guys.
stays. I really do.
I think it's
stays
Isaiah
in
Joe also. Like
In regards,
this conversation will be different next year whenever there is the inevitable regression of some kind for Isaiah Joe, but I still think I would go Isaiah Joe here. I like the size more. I like the wingspan more. Yeah.
I mean, what if the regression is just nothing more than less opportunity because you have guys like Chet Holmgren on this team?
Yeah.
But he's still equally as efficient.
Where do you go with this, Nick?
I still think Trey just contract. Not that it's like obviously he's getting paid a lot more than Isaiah, which is crazy. Just the ability to retain him and the rookie deal. I don't know. I think it's more likely. Although I think maybe the reasons you guys indicated, better fit, better what they're doing, is probably accurate as of today. It's the contract is always the deciding factor in the league.
Very fair. Also, very random, but we are podcasting live at like 10:30 p.m. on Sunday, and Dame is up to 59.
Oh my!
But they're only leading the Rockets by 10. So,
Okay. Well, that
Seems about right. I'm laughing because Nick has the game on behind him and had no clue.
No, I knew he had 53 last time. Look,
Okay.
59.
Can't stop Shingun.
I had no idea. I
No,
did not have a single clue.
Shingun has not played a lot tonight.
Ooh.
He has 64 now, Dame does.
oh wow.
Oh,
20 of 32 from the
20 of
floor,
32.
12 of 19 from three. That's
How much time's left?
absurd.
three
Almost
minutes.
4 minutes. Yeah.
That's
Holy
crazy.
cow.
He can't reach Kobe, can he?
No, but he might be able to reach a book. What was it, 72?
Or Mitchell, yeah.
Mitchell had
Oh,
71.
yeah, Mitchell had 71. Yeah.
There's no way. You gotta. I mean, they're up 14. You gotta.
We could get the Eugene news and
What's
a
bigger?
new season
Dame,
high score.
What a night.
All right, next pairing. It seems like Isaiah Joe won that one 2-1.
Who did you pick?
That's pretty in depth.
I'm not voting because I don't believe in democracy,
What the hell?
and we need an odd number so we can have a
Oh,
majority.
you're right.
I've always said Jacob supported Russia.
Dictatorships. That's what I like.
You've always said that.
Yep.
Always said.
Always. Next one. We've got Jeremiah Robinson Earl versus Jaylin Williams. J-Will.
I've got a curveball answer, so I want you guys to.
Yeah,
go
this
first.
is kind of like
Ooh.
recency bias. So
Taylor,
I-
you go.
Oh, I go first. Oh man, I don't like this because of the recency bias. Like, I think JRE is going to be just fine. He's an incredibly sound player. He fits the system very, very well. At the same time, again, I keep going back to some of these are very relevant to Silva's post game on Friday that he did against the Suns. I also just got to listen to it today, so maybe that's why it's fresh in my mind, Silva. But I do really like what you said about Jay Will's ability to be able to create from the elbow, for example. He's able to connect in that sense, kind of playing that Poku role that we haven't gotten to see since Poku's been out. I also think about, obviously, his defensive impact. JRE is a good defensive player. I talked about this a couple weeks ago on a post game as well. Like, we're missing his defensive impact because JRE was able to come in and be able to be a little more versatile in regards to like switching onto perimeter defenders. Jay Will obviously can't do that, but he impacts the game in other ways. He's not a run protector, but he's taking charges, right? Like, there's certain things that he does that works really well within the defense. And obviously, he seems to be a better three-point shooter in a very small sample size. This one's really tough for me. Almost a push. I'm not sure I would go to Vegas and choose this. I still want to say JRE. I just think he's so fundamentally sound. I know, like Nick said, maybe a bit of a curveball. I still think very highly of Jay Will. But when push comes to shove, when JRE is back fully from injury, kind of back in the swing of things, has his legs under him, I think he's going to be able to fit this offense and defense a little better than Jay will be able to.
I'm thinking a lot about who fits best alongside Chet. Like, do you want this player to be your backup center, or do you want them to play alongside Chet? And I don't know what you guys think about this. Do we think Jay Will can play alongside Chet? I guess it depends on if you want, can one of them guard the modern four in the NBA? Chet, maybe. But I think for that reason, I'm probably leaning Jeremiah, even though he hasn't looked great since his injury, just for versatility reasons. Also, I feel like he's just the dad, listens to dad rock. Nice guy in the locker room. I kind of
because of the goatee.
It's because of the goatee. He's got the Godsmack.
He's a Villanova
goatee.
guy, and we really want Cam Whitmore, so he can work his magic and find a way to.
Probably listens to Pantera in the locker room. I think for those reasons, I'm going JRE.
Has great hair. I mean,
really?
Hey, don't knock Jay Will's hair.
Yeah, that's
Also
true.
great hair.
Wonderful.
I love Jay Will for a lot of reasons, but this
Nick,
one
before
is
you give your
honestly
opinion,
difficult.
I just want to throw out a few things. JRE is about a year and a half older than Jay Will. Jay will be 21 in June. JRE will be 23 in November. So there's about a year and a half difference there. Jay Will is in a contract for a little bit longer. I think Jay Will offensively is more versatile than JRE. And then I think it's the exact opposite on the other end. I think JRE is more versatile than Jay Will on the defensive end. Jay Will has played fine defensively, but JRE can switch. He can guard smaller dudes and doesn't have to drop in pick and roll coverage, which I think is massive for this team. We've seen Jay Will get cooked and drop coverage frequently recently. So just a few things to throw out there. Nick, you said you had a curveball?
Yes.
Those are the best balls. What do you got?
The answer is neither.
Oh, it's a curveball.
We've talked about this offline and on the pod quite a bit. Rookies in Oklahoma City get a long leash. They get a lot of minutes. And they generally play pretty well. And then the sophomore season comes around. It's usually a slump. There's flashes of what you want to see. There's a lot of bad at the same time in year two as the leash gets shorter and film is out. And it's easy to say Jay Will today. It was probably really easy to say Jerry last year, given they're both second round picks. And again, going back to the contracts, you don't have the same flexibility or kind of ownership over their contracts longer term for a second round pick. I think they're great role players, solid players for this team today. But when push comes to shove and you've got multiple picks in 24, you got a pick in 23, you're going to do consolidation at some point. So they could be traded. You're going to be making all these moves over the next couple of years between now and the end of their deal and this 3-year window we're talking about, I would not be shocked if both of them are gone in 2 years.
Yes, and like you said, Nick, like I think when it comes down to it, both of them are going to be backups. This is where like I really like to think about the Thunder drafting a player of this position long term in this upcoming 2023 draft. Again, we aren't going to get into prospects, but just like you think of the Jarris Walkers, you think of the Cam Whitmores, you think of the Taylor Hendricks, the guys from this draft class. Like there are some really good long-term pieces who could fit that role perfectly, and maybe with a higher ceiling than either of those guys. But if we're going one versus the other, I still think JRE is the fit, and we know how much that Pressey loves guys that come from programs like Villanova, for example. Although maybe he's a hog guy now after Isaiah Joe and J. Will.
Jacob's a hog guy.
Woo pig suey.
JD was the one that tweeted hogs out the other night. That wasn't me. That was Silva.
I was workshopping that one for a while.
Holy cow, Dame Lillard.
71.
Up to 71?
Yeah.
Insane. 47 seconds left.
Mitchell scored 71, but he did that with overtime.
Mm-hmm.
True. That's a good point.
That is nuts.
It's a lot of points in a basketball game. Over half his team points. Blazers are cooked, bro.
They're cooked.
Like next 5 years, that team is just cooked.
Yeah.
Barbecue chicken. It sounds like JRE is the winner of this second one. Nick, constantly the minority in the voting process here. Next one. I hate this next one, just so we're clear.
I do too.
Okay? I hate this next one. I hate it when people say, who's going to be the better player? Who's better long-term? Josh Giddy or J-Dub? You got both. Like you got both of them for their rookie scale contract. You will sign both of them to a rookie scale extension. Unless one of them like refuses to play games and sits out. You've got both of them. So there's no need to choose between the two. If you want to have a favorite player, that's fine. But like debating like, oh, which one is going to be like around longer? Which one's going to be the better one? They're both going to be here. With that being said, let's debate the two. J-Dub, Josh Giddy. If one of them is gone in 2 years, who is it and why?
Am I going first? I'll go first. So I'm with you as far as it's good that the Thunder just have them both, and they can kind of figure out what their long-term contracts look like. Like, do we think either of them right now, if you were asked, like gun to your head, do either of them get max rookie extensions?
God, that's pretty violent just for a random NBA question.
Water gun to your head.
Okay.
Both, right?
I think both as well.
Okay. How much? How
So
much?
it's not the answer I was looking for.
Yeah, I know. It's just is a rookie max extension. How much does that affect the? I don't understand the salary cap like you guys do. How does that affect the team as far as acquiring other players? Like if they have SGA, 2 rookies on the max extension,
Chet on the max extension.
Chet on the max, and then
look,
we all want to.
You can't go sign free agents,
right?
But
Right.
when has this team ever done that?
Never.
Also, we have a presumably high-ish first-round pick this year,
Right.
And this
You're going to have to pay tax,
2023.
but this front office is making a metric shit ton of money right now through revenue
They prepared
sharing
for it.
from not paying tax for the past 3 years. We know they're willing to pay the tax, and so they will just pay tax dollars.
Yeah.
I mean, the rebuild is starting to shape up to look a lot like what the Golden State Warriors did. You draft all of your talent, you extend them, you pay a shit ton of money for your own guys, but that's what you do. Maybe there's some changes in the new CBA that change that. I know some teams are pushing for, like the Dubs, are pushing for stuff like, hey, if we sign our own draft picks to extensions, maybe we should lower the tax hit for those contracts because we're not going out and like signing big name free agents and making an imbalance in the league. We're doing it all organically.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only downfall from paying your own guys a lot of money is just you pay luxury tax and you can't sign free agents because your cap sheet's filled. This team's not going to sign free agents. They're going to trade for guys if they acquire new talent.
I don't think that'll defer them from keeping on to both Josh and Dub, for example, but that is really hard. Like there's the prisoner in the moment of me again, kind of similar to the JRE, J Will, although on a much larger scale that wants to say J-Dub obviously is impacting the game at a higher level already. But Giddy's also younger than J-Dub already is, right? And has more experience. Also, I think it's a little more versatile, obviously, in regards to his creation for others. We're seeing him improve from scoring, especially from outside. I think he has a very solid floater. He's going to have to see that become a little more consistent in regards to his scoring, but in his being able to make that, or the efficiency. I think I'm going to go Josh Giddy here. I really am. I love J-Dub. I hope J-Dub's here his entire career in OKC. I'm a huge, huge fan. But if I'm the front office, I still think Josh Giddy has the highest ceiling of the two high ceilings of J-Dub and Giddy.
Just for the record, Josh this season, 16 points, nearly 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and a steal a game, shooting 48% from the field, 30% from 3, which is a 4 percentage point jump from last season. He's just been awesome, dude. Like, I think people kind of sleep on it.
Which is weird because he sometimes doesn't feel like it. Even tonight, like
that's.
I mean,
like
if his career is 16, 8, and 6, I mean, that's really freaking good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the thing, Taylor. Like, it doesn't look like he's doing a lot there. It looks like it's like, damn it, this guy's dribbling like he's just a bigger Bob Cousy. And then all of a sudden he has like 27 and 7. And it doesn't make any sense.
And you want him to like,
it's the eye test.
You want him, right. You want him to take over when a player like Shea is out. You want him to be that guy. That's not his game though. And I think to both of your guys' points, so you mentioned it Friday. Jacob, you mentioned it just now. Like the way he impacts the game doesn't have to be scoring. Like he does so many different things for this team and continues to improve in each of those areas. And that's why I think his ceiling is still at such a young age. Still, all those reasons. I think that ceiling is still just a bit higher than what a J-Dub would be.
I think he will make a lot more sense whenever Chet is on the team.
I think that's fair. I want to go second here. Taylor just gave the Josh Giddy pitch. I want to give the J-Dub pitch. And I'm probably stealing Silva's thunder here.
Go for it. This is a very sensual segment.
Dub is Jaylen Brown 2 years ago. He's amazing. He's perfect. I love him. My jersey's on the way.
He's much older than Josh. J-Dub is going to be 22 in April. Josh will not be 21 until October. So pretty big difference in age. I just keep going back to the way the coaching staff talks about J-Dub. If you watched the Thunder vs. Suns game on the ESPN broadcast, first off, we got the good broadcast. No offense to Hubie Brown whatsoever. I cannot stand listening to Hubie Brown.
Honestly, all offense to Hubie Brown. He is not great.
We got JJ Redick and Richard Jefferson, which was wonderful.
It was.
And they talked about how before the game or the day before, whatever, they had got a chance to talk to Mark about J-Dub and how he just raved about his defensive instincts and how he reads the game. And the thing with J-Dub over Josh Giddy, I think, is defensively is number one, right? Like Josh is an adequate defender. He's fine. I think Josh may end up being league average defender, but fits in really well with a system. Don't really care about his one-on-one, care more about how he fits into a group. J-Dub, though, he guarded Domantas Sabonis tonight.
And Devin Booker on Friday.
I mean, the length, the size, the versatility, the instincts, the ability to create havoc. He's not going to be Andre Robertson level. I don't think that. He could be, but I don't think he's going to be defensive Andre Robertson. Could he be good enough defensively that 12 months from now, this team has made a trade and moved on from Lou Dort because they want to make an upgrade elsewhere and J-Dub is just that damn good? I think it's possible.
I'd push back a little bit on your Robertson comment, not in a bad way. I don't think he becomes the point of attack defender Andre was. I think he can be a much more versatile defender in like who he can guard,
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
which is
I mean,
equally as valuable in this modern
The
NBA.
wingspan changes the game, dude. Like the wingspan legit allows him to guard bigs and also guard guards. Just because he's so long, it's hard for guys to get around him. And then offensively, is he the level of playmaker Josh is? No. Like there's very few people in the NBA right now, this moment, that are better than Josh Giddy at passing and creating looks for other guys. At 20 years old, like he is a phenom. But just the things that J-Dub does, I haven't looked it up. I should like look up a comparison of J-Dub's rookie stats versus like James Harden's.
He's about to pass him in points.
The trajectory for this kid. And I know he's older, and so he's coming in at like a much more polished stage. He's just really, really, really good at everything on the basketball court. And the coaching staff loves him. I mean, they're playing a
They
rookie
trust
like
him, to your
30,
point.
32 minutes a night. He's the type of player that every team in the league salivates over.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I
Whereas
know I
Josh
went
Giddy
to-
is more fits. You have to have a team that can absorb a Josh Giddy.
True.
Right?
And
Not
give him
every
room to
team in the
grow and
league
improve.
would be like, hey, we want to bring in Josh Giddy and let him do his thing.
True.
Every team in the league would say, give me J-Dub in a minute. And that's not a knock against Josh at all. Josh is awesome. But if you put Josh in, I don't know, if you drop Josh in Phoenix right now, he's not getting those opportunities, right? He's not getting to play like his style of game because he's playing next to Book and CP and Kevin.
That one might actually work, but I
If
agree
you
with you
drop him like in LA with the Clippers,
Yeah.
I don't think it looks
Yeah.
the same.
agreed.
But
It's almost
J-Dub
like the
can,
Ben Simmons conversation, but like
It is
not
but
just
on
not the
a
shitty
different
side of it.
level.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
the good
right.
side of it.
Right,
Yes.
right.
J-Dub, 29 other teams would bring him in and play him 20 to 30 minutes a night right now.
It's interesting. Like I've been talking to some people. Someone brought up like and again, think of like not recent Andre Iguodala, but think of like prime Andre Iguodala, and in a more modern NBA fit. I think that's an interesting one. We talked about.
I think
Jaylen
he's
Brown,
so much
obviously,
more versatile than prime Iguodala
Yeah.
offensively.
especially
as
from
far
in
as
terms of
playmaking.
distributing. But the other
Yeah.
thing, like to that point, is he's been fine from the 3-point line this season, but he's historically throughout his career in high school and into college been a pretty good 3-point shooter. I've
It'll come around.
listened to people like Sam Vecini talk about how he has room to improve from a 3-point, opportunity, like or a 3-point percentage. Like I think he can improve there as well. So like that just gives him even more versatility. I think when in regards to playing alongside more dominant players like or ball dominant players like Josh Giddy or Shea moving forward. It's there's even though he's older, there's still a lot of room and development for him, I think, ahead.
For sure. JD, Nick, you guys got to weigh in on the Dub versus Giddy debate.
Nick, you go.
I think it does come down to age and what you do across the board. Like, I love Dub. Like, I think he's one of the coolest people, one of the coolest players that has ever come through Oklahoma City. But what Josh does feels harder to replace than what Dub does, in my opinion.
That's fair. Josh is definitely more unique.
He is. I think you can find another Dub in the draft. I don't know, like Josh is rare what he's doing at 20 with the passing upside, with the size. Like I don't want to say unicorn because it gets thrown around too much, and there's not many unicorns out there, but like Josh is legit rare. If you go look at Cerebro Sports and throw in, Josh's height, Josh's assists, Josh, like all the things he does well, and like look at the history of who's in that same archetype, there's not many.
Mm-hmm. I
And
know.
those are the kind of guys you want.
Yeah, I'm very torn on this. Like we all are. I've gone through this conversation with friends a bunch. with you guys before,
with yourself in your bedroom.
with myself late at night, just like which one.
So it
'cause
keeps Silva up.
it keeps me up at night because they're both going to be rookie max guys. We think, like we talked about before, and it's like if you look at Josh play right now, he is limited as an offensive option. Like his offensive contributions are mainly with passing and like floaters. I do think he's going to evolve as an offensive option. I just don't know. Feel like that evolution is just going to be like catch and shoot threes, and having other weapons alongside him, like Chet and another guy we get in this next draft. So I don't know. Kind of with Nick, as far as Josh's playmaking is like a very special thing, and that single attribute is probably higher than what J-Dub offers, but J-Dub offers a lot of other things that really pop off the screen when you're watching him. And I just personally like J-Dub a bunch, like we all do. God, I hate this question.
Does Josh's athleticism or lack thereof give you guys any worry or any pause?
No.
I think his athleticism is underrated. Like, I understand he's not fast twitch or
Interesting.
explosive.
It does
But
Kind of
give
worried
some-
me recently.
He's strong.
See him getting blocked at the rim a lot.
He gets
Yeah.
blocked a
Um,
lot.
I
Like,
take size
doesn't
over
dunk.
athleticism.
That's fair.
Did you guys, going back
He
to
can-
Silva's comment, I had to drop off the pod for a sec. You guys said that both will be rookie max guys?
Yeah, I
You
posed
disagree?
that question early, and I was like,
strongly
are they?
disagree.
I was
I
like,
think
are
the
they
Thunder
both gonna
will
be that?
max
There's
out.
only 3, maybe 4 guys in every class that get that deal. You guys think they're both top 3 guys in their class?
Which
I
of the
don't
two
know.
is not
Yeah.
getting maxed?
I don't think either get maxed.
Wow.
I think both could be like the Tyler Hero kind of guy that gets, or like the Jordan Poole that gets a crap ton.
Most of it.
But like we're talking like the guys that get that rookie max extension before the last year of the rookie deal, the Jaws, the Zions, the Garlands, like there's only 3 every year, maybe 4. I don't see that.
Well, there's
Interesting.
certain incentives you have to meet, right, in order to be able to meet like the Tre Young, Shea. Even Shea didn't get the full max in comparison to some of those
Shea got
guys
a
in his
max.
class.
He got a max, he just didn't hit the escalator.
Oh, okay, that's what I was thinking.
But like even then, Shea was one of 3 or 4 guys in his class that got it. That's tough. Like
Luka,
that's not
Trey,
discounting or
yeah.
saying that Giddy and Dub are not going to be fantastic players, but that is like superstar trajectory. Like
All
Josh
NBA.
Giddy getting a max means that dude's hitting 37% from 3. Like there's no question about his game and about being a star in the future. I may have just derailed us completely on a topic we already talked
No,
about
I mean
when I jumped off.
it's good to bring up because that's what was making me nervous about Josh. I just kind of assumed like
How about this? If both of them don't get maxed, they're getting like 90%
a bunch.
of
they're
a max.
they're getting a ton of money
A
for
bunch.
sure.
90% or more.
100%.
Yeah.
Like we're talking.
Michael Porter Jr. didn't get maxed, did he?
Yes,
He did?
he did.
Yeah.
Okay, so that draft has Michael Porter Jr., Shea. McHale didn't get maxed,
Nope.
but he got a shit ton of money.
Yep.
Mhm.
That's more in line what I'm thinking. Like the McHale.
Okay. Trey
Yeah.
Young got maxed. Luca got maxed. Aiton got maxed.
Aiton,
Jaren Jackson.
Aiton got max, but it was like the weird backdoor.
Weird.
Yeah.
And what the
And
Suns could have
also that
offered.
class is also like the first to have that many also. So you're picking one that goes way against my argument. But in a regular,
Well, I don't think the 2019 class. Oh, they have had a chance to sign, haven't
Yep.
they?
Yep.
So that would be Zion, Jaw. Shit, that might be it.
so I'm saying it's a honor to get a rookie max, and it is a vote of confidence that you are a superstar.
We hope Chet is that also.
Oh, if Chet should be over J-Dub and Giddy, Chet should be.
Yeah. So in my head, I'm like, okay, Josh, do we foresee him being like the 4th option on as far as scoring?
Yeah.
In the future, and like,
Yeah.
do we want to pay that much? I mean,
Right.
the Thunder are building a very unique team, so having a player like that as your 4th option might not matter
Yeah.
with all the playmaking that he offers. It's a tough conversation.
And here's the thing: you don't have to be a max guy to be good.
No.
Anthony Simons got
Right.
a bag,
Right.
not a
Mhm.
max guy. They will get paid. There's
Yeah.
there's no debate about that.
regardless, the Thunder are in a very fortunate situation to have all this
you're
talent.
having this conversation is a great thing.
Yeah, it's like, oh shit, they might have 3 max young guys on the team at the same time, and Shea, and who knows who they draft,
and still have space. Like, yeah,
I still didn't pick anyone. I'm picking J-Dub.
Silva takes J-Dub. Who do the other two take? Both take going Josh?
I say Giddy.
All right. This time Silva loses. We're 1 hour into the show. Do you guys want to do our last one?
I don't think
we can do this one quicker.
There won't be as much discussion on this one.
The final battle. Who's on the team in 3 years? Usman Jang versus Alexei Pokushevsky.
We'll make it easy. There's 2 bullet points to talk about here. 1, we have not seen enough of Usman, so can't really talk about it. 2, Poku is due for an extension as we're speaking, so he's a much higher likelihood to not be here in 3 years because Usman will probably, without a doubt, be
true.
Here. So, do we all agree that this is more of like a not applicable?
Yeah, but I think if I had to pick between the two, I'm going Usman. I just think he has, at this point,
it's been too long since Poku's played. Taylor's forgotten.
I've forgotten there. I have strayed from the religion. However, I'm still pretty excited about Usman, and I think we forget about him when we're thinking about the trajectory and
super high.
Some of the guys of these team moving forward. Me too.
From
a defense standpoint and offensive. Speaking of a catch and shoot guy, I think he, believe it or not, can develop into that. I like his shot, his motion, and then just the defense, like I mentioned, is
he'd be a lottery pick again this draft. I think.
Me too.
Just for the record, Poku is 21 years old, just turned 21. 9 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1.5 blocks a game this season in the games that he's played. 37%, nearly 38% from 3 on over 3 attempts a game, which is awesome. His percentage from the field, his percentage from 3 have both increased. His 2-point percentage from last year to this year is virtually the same. His effective field goal percentage has gone up by 5 points. He's just he made a leap. I still think it's probably Usman just because of contract reasons. Usman has, Poku had a crazy high ceiling. I feel like what we're talking about with Usman right now is what we talked about with Poku 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Right. Contract situation, I think it's Us, but I think people are forgetting about Poku a little bit.
It's funny that you brought up I thought his 3-point percentage was lower than that because some of his misses are just really bad. So it makes me feel like he shoots a lower percentage than he actually does. I want nothing more than Poku to be a good NBA player. So I think I'm going to go the Poku route here. And I famously cheered whenever the Thunder did not pick Usman on draft night, only to find out that they did.
That was fun.
Let's say, Nick, you brought this up. So let's say Poku plays 10 more games this season. Okay, there's 22 left now. Let's say he misses 12 more, plays the final 10. Looks a lot like what he did at the beginning of the year. We know this team either extends players or trades them. So let's say when the extension opens up, and there's a chance for him to get extended. I think that would be in October, wouldn't it? It's near the start of the year. Or does it start in July? I don't know.
It's different for every player. I'd have to look at his...
Yeah. Let's say whenever he's eligible for an extension, he signs an extension with Oklahoma City. We get a Woj tweet about it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the years and numbers look like?
Mo Bamba deal. And or Jaylin Smith deal. Right around 10, 11 million.
I think that's probably fair.
3 to 4 years, probably some sort of option that makes it more like a 2 to 3.
Okay, that's kind of where I was at.
Yeah, and I'd be happy with that.
Last competition: Chet versus Wemby.
Jeez, give me Chet, baby.
All right, we got to get out of here. No around the association today, because who cares about the rest of the league? We're just here to talk Thunder basketball.
We talked about Dame's 71.
Yeah, there you go. There's your round association.
Perfect.
We do need to do predictions before we get out of here real quick. Sylvia, you just want to pump the outro music while we do predictions really fast? Tuesday, we got the Kings. Second game in a row against the Kings. Taylor, what happens?
W. I'm covering it. Easy W.
Nick?
W. Let's first win. First win.
I'll be at that game. W.
Boom.
WWW. Hey, stack me on. Give me the W as well. I'm ready. Second out of a back-to-back Wednesday
Stack me on that.
against the Los Angeles Lakers.
L.
Silva. Nick's
L.
going L. Silva's going L. L. Lake Show, baby. Give me the Thunder.
There we go.
Shea's
I like
back.
that.
He said he had something for LeBron after that block at the All-Star game. Give me
Okay.
Shea. Give me Shea 40 piece. We've got Friday versus the Utah Jazz. Nick?
I'll take a dub there too.
Silva?
W.
Taylor?
I'm actually going L here again. Think two
Taylor.
straight L's. Going round out with the
Jeez.
W.
I'm just going win all the way through.
All the wins.
Jeez.
Sunday night, they've got the Jazz again.
That's the one I'm going with the win.
Taylor's got them going 2-2.
2-2.
Silva?
Give me a W. 3-1.
3-1. Nick?
Can't win both. Give me an L in that second leg of
2-2.
it. Yep.
So we've got 2-2 for Taylor, 2-2 for Nick, 3-1 for JD. Give me the 4-0, baby.
4-0.
I did it last week and they didn't win a single game. They got to get it at
This
some
week
point.
will be different.
Thank you guys so much for tuning into the Uncontested. Join Taylor Tuesday night live after the Thunder take on the Kings once more for his post-game podcast and analysis. And then Wednesday, we'll be with you guys after the Lakers game. Friday after the Jazz. And then Sunday, we're back here again for another full hour-long show. Until then, you guys have a great start to your week. Hope all of our Thunder homies out there, and I meant to say Oklahomies, but Thunder homies, Oklahomies, people in Oklahoma, hope you guys are safe with these storms. We'll talk to you guys soon. Until then, and as always, Thunder up.